was born and raised in Madisonville, Kentucky. I was listening to old drive-thru episodes and heard you briefly mention it. Any stories or history in Madisonville?
At the Madisonville Junior High School on Arch and Spring Streets, in the late 70s and early 80s, Christine Jarrett ran Louisville every Tuesday night. She ran Evansville, Indiana every Wednesday night. And every Thursday night, she either ran Lexington, Kentucky at Rupp Arena once a month or a spot show up here in the northern Kentucky, southern Indiana area. That was on. So she ran actually 3 shows per week. She ran 150 shows plus every year. But one Saturday a month, because Saturday nights were always split. There was always a Saturday night show somewhere in the Memphis area. Tupelo, Mississippi, Osceola, Arkansas, whatever the case may be, a spot show on a Friday night in the Memphis area because most of the guys would be at TV. But since you didn't want to put everybody in the territory on one show, there was always 2 shows on Friday night or on Saturday night rather. For example, on the Memphis end for the guys that lived in the Memphis area, but one in the Nashville end for the guys who lived in Nashville. And then later on, as Nashville became a Saturday night town, then Nashville took Saturday and they had a spot show elsewhere. But anyway, the point I'm making is on Friday and Saturday nights, a lot of times the crews were split. And one Saturday a month, Christine Jarrett, for some reason, would run Madisonville, Kentucky at the Madisonville Junior High School with 8 guys and Buddy Wayne's traveling ring. And basically, I think all the seats were $4 or $5 or whatever, and they'd draw 200 people to see 2 single matches, a tag match, and then an 8-man battle royal, or maybe 4 singles, or whatever the fuck. There was going to be 8 guys and a referee, and she ran it every month. And I found out a lesson in promotion after a while because I always questioned all of her other towns did so much better. But what happened was when you were paying 8 guys $50 each plus a referee, there's $450, and the ring back then was $150 maybe. So there's $600. If she got $1,000 and after the payoffs, then that paid for the newspaper advertisement for Evansville for the entire month. So you got the newspaper for free. See what I'm saying? So anyway, these things were important in the territories. But the show, it never drew. And it was 200 people or 175 or 215 or whatever every month. And it was bland. It was blasé. But here was the worst one of all. We get the word we're already there because it was one of the longer drives of any of the spot shows. We're already there helping set up the merchandise table, me and my mom and Teeny was there, and I think Donna, her niece, had driven her, and she was going to be selling tickets. And it was, about 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the afternoon, and she gets the call from Ken Wayne, Buddy's son. He's had a wreck, and the trailer, the ring, it's fucked, right? It's on the side of the road. He's not, and it ended up knocking all of his teeth out. And fucked up, I think, his shoulder, and he had stitches, and the ring was a total loss, and the trailer was all fucked up, and it wasn't his fault. But anyway, they had no ring. So somehow in an hour and a half, you can't get a ring in Madisonville, Kentucky. So they ended up the school opened the locker room up, and they pulled out actual amateur high school wrestling mats and put them in the middle of a junior high school gym. So you've already got the basketball court is what the floor is. And you got the basketball hoops up at either end, but it's just a junior high school, so it ain't really full size. And you've got bleachers on each side that the place only seated 400 people if it was full to begin with. And there's no ringside seats because they don't want ringside on the floor, right? So picture this. In the middle of the summer, it's 100 fucking degrees. There's a bunch of high school wrestling mats rolled out on the floor. This time it's a 6-man and 2-woman card because one of the matches is for the World Women's Championship, the Fabulous Moolah versus Cowgirl Wendy Richter. And since I am the ring announcer and the timekeeper and the photographer, but also because the PA system, since the school doesn't have one, Ken's ring and Buddy's ring had the portable PA system, and that was fucked too. I'm in the first row of the bleachers with a tire iron banging on the railing of the high school railing around the bleachers. It's metal. I'm banging on that for a bell, and I'm using the fire department bullhorn to announce the fabulous Moolah against Wendy Richter, where Moolah still insists on letting Wendy body slam her, because she even then took a body slam in every match. But also Wendy goes up for that girls drop kick that Moolah used to train the girls how to do, where they just jump straight up and kick their feet out, and they're parallel to the ground, but their back is facing down, not sideways. She kicks off a Moolah and lands, and where they've sweated, it was so slick. She just scooted head first, right straight off onto the fucking floor, off the mats. Then they bring out the tag match for the main event. I think was Killer Carl Krupp and El Mongol against Ricky Morton and oh my God, and Sonny King, because for the tag match, since there was no ropes to go along with the ring they didn't have, they brought 2 of the little junior high school science class plastic chairs down and set them in each corner of the wrestling mat. So when the guy was in the corner, he had to sit in that chair, and he couldn't come onto the mat until they tagged him. And you've never seen anything until you've seen Killer Carl Krupp as 6'3", 270-pound fucking Nazi that looked like a goddamn bald-headed red skull sitting in a fucking junior high school science class plastic chair waiting for a tag from a Mongolian with a fucking pigtail on his head. So Madisonville, Kentucky. Yes. That was my memories.